3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios. What a move! Here's Josh Hennig.
Tuesday edition of Game Night on 97.3 ESPN as we are counting down to Phillies Marlins Game 1 pregame coverage at 7:30. First pitch 8:08 tonight. You know all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN. All red October, we will have all the Phillies games on the radio. Plus, Eagles made a move today, and it's an interesting move to say the least. We'll get to that in just a moment as well. You can join the conversation at 609-403-0973. And, of course, your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. And see how the baseball playoffs are going on right now. Currently, the Twins lead 3-0 over the Blue Jays in the fifth inning, and the Rangers beat the Rays earlier today 4-0. So the baseball playoffs are all in starting today. But we're going to start with the Eagles news because we have plenty of time to get to the Phillies. The Eagles news that came down about 90 minutes ago is interesting because it gives you an idea of something that, Chris Long mentioned this on his podcast. We played the audio a couple of weeks ago where he said, he expects Howie Roseman to do something. He did not believe Howie Roseman was just going to sit on his hands and not do anything to improve the team. Well, it wasn't the classic Howie Roseman trade, though. It was a free agent signing. It was Bradley Roby signing with the Eagles, the former Broncos and Saints corner. He is now a Philadelphia Eagle. And there's two very interesting takeaways from this for me. Number one, this guy has a Super Bowl ring. He was a young player on the Broncos team that won the championship. That was the year that Von Miller was basically the best player on the planet for one day. And he was the key to the Broncos winning the championship. Remember the Broncos team that basically carried not just carried, but, basically held up Peyton Manning during a Super Bowl run. And so I think it's very interesting that you now have a guy who is part of that championship team on a defense that, if we're being honest, struggled at times on Sunday. It was not a great game for the Eagles on Sunday. Now, I don't think that the corner position specifically was the problem for the Eagles on Sunday when they went to overtime against Washington. I almost called them by one of their other team names, the Commanders, formerly known as two other teams. That's the conversation the other day. But for Washington, they came into Philadelphia and gave them everything they could handle and more. And I don't think it was explicitly, though, because of the slot corner. I thought the slot corner was more of a problem against the Vikings than it was against Washington. But you could argue that maybe the Eagles' defense would have been better off if they had a more reliable slot corner, considering that without two safeties, Justin Evans and Sidney Brown, in Sunday's game. So now Bradley Roby, who came in for a workout with the Eagles today, and they signed him. Basically, his workout must have been so good, it must have been just definitive that, all right, this guy can play. Let's get this guy on the field. So what's the other part of this? Well, the other part of this I think is interesting is Bradley Roby's background. Bradley Roby's background is that of a guy who, number one, I mentioned, played on a Super Bowl winning defense. Okay? Well, what that means for the Eagles is that he's a veteran player coming into a team that has some younger players. I think that is a big part of this conversation. You look at the coordinators that he has played for during his years in the NFL. I think that's the other part of it that is very interesting about this conversation. Most recently, he played under a defense run by Dennis Allen. Before that, it was Romeo Crennel. In Denver, it was Wade Phillips. And something that all those defenses have in common is they are all defenses that have done a great job at creating confusion because of what they use as a 3-4 defense. Now, Dennis Allen does not use a pure 3-4 defense, and neither did Wade Phillips. They were both guys who used kind of hybrid schemes. But the reason why this is important is because when you have a defense that does not run an explicit, this is our front every single time, you need guys who understand how to be flexible in those situations. And what do all the defenses that Roby have in common? He's only ever played for defenses that run either 3-4 setups or have those hybrid fronts where it looks like a 4-3, but it's actually a 3-4 kind of situation. And when you look at the guys that Roby has played under, it gives you an idea of why the Eagles signed this guy. They wanted to sign a guy who understood what it means to be in a defense that is not a literal base every single down. And why that's important is because if you watched Monday Night Football last night, you saw in the game Devin Witherspoon kick in from outside to inside during the Seahawks win over the Giants. And the reason why he had some big plays last night was because Witherspoon understood how to maneuver around the defense. He was not a guy who could only play one style or another. He was not someone who was incapable of moving around inside of a defensive scheme. Bradley Roby is the same. Now, I'm not saying he is Devin Witherspoon necessarily, but what I am saying is Roby is someone who is very knowledgeable and understanding of what it means to be a moving piece inside of a 3-4 defense or a hybrid front defense. And I think that's part of the reason why he's here. Remember, when he was in Denver as a young player, he did have to play outside at times because he was on a team that had guys like Aqib Talib on the outside and Chris Harris Jr. was outside and inside. So Roby and Harris Jr. would take turns playing outside and inside. Well, what happens with a defense like the Eagles where Bradbury can also play outside and inside? You can play now matchups. You don't need Roby to be your best corner. You need him to be one of your starting corners. And the value of Avonte Maddox was his versatility, his flexibility, his ability to move around and play the role of whatever was needed. And Roby can do the same. The other good thing about Roby is he is like Avonte Maddox, small enough to be able to slip around those screens, we'll call them. They're basically offensive picks that teams run. But I think there was a problem for the Eagles where guys were getting caught on crossers or misdirections, and guys were getting open because they were unable to maneuver the small spaces that are created by offenses trying to confuse defenses and get guys out of position. And Roby's experience is someone who can say, I know that offensive set. I know what this receiver is trying to do. And if he gets caught once for whatever reason, he won't get caught in that situation again. And for the Eagles moving forward, don't forget, this team is going to have some difficult matchups coming up. The Rams might not be the elite offense that won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, but Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell are very good players. And the Rams have showed you that they are still a team that can scheme up a great offense with Sean McVay. 2 weeks from now, you get the Miami Dolphins, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. There's going to be a lot of attention. Well, if Waddle is healthy, attention on those guys and you don't want to have the guys like a guy like Tua Tagovailoa take advantage of you because you're focused so much on the big receivers, you forget about everyone else and they pick you apart. You play Washington again before the Cowboys. The Cowboys, look, they may have lost the Arizona Cardinals, but we know that that team is capable of. They're capable of a lot of points. And I know there's a lot of you out there who are rolling your eyes, but let me tell you something. You should never take your opponent for granted. You should never assume anything about anyone. And the reality is that Dallas is a team that has scored at least 30 points in every game except for the Cardinals' loss. They scored 40 on the Giants, 30 on the Jets, 38 on the Patriots. That means that they have scored 30 plus points on two teams that should have given them problems, the Jets and the Patriots. Now, of course, I know the Christian Gonzalez injury and the Matthew Judon injury definitely impacted the Patriots' ability to slow down Dallas, but the point is, Dallas is trouble. And after the bye week, don't forget the gauntlet. Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys, Seahawks. It's a 5-week stretch where you better be ready. And Bradley Roby may be the key for you surviving some of these matchups. So that's the latest Eagles news. Catch more of the details on the Eagles signing Bradley Roby right now at 97.3 ESPN.com. 609-403-0973. Also, your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Let's get to the Phillies tonight, because tonight you're going to see the Phillies try to do something that we have never seen done before. The Miami Marlins, as a franchise, have been to the postseason 2 times that were not in shortened seasons, and they won the World Series in each of them. The Philadelphia Phillies are trying to become the first team to eliminate the Miami Marlins in that scenario. Now, while this Miami Marlins team is nowhere as talented as the 97 Marlins or the 2003 Marlins, it is still to be said the Marlins have been a thorn in the Phillies' side. And history is not necessarily on their side. We are going to find out very quickly that the Marlins have been the team that have driven this team nuts over the years. 39-41 over the last 5 years are the Phillies against the Marlins. Zach Wheeler this year in 3 starts has a 3 ERA with 17 strikeouts and 18 innings pitched. So he's been good, not great against Miami. And while the Phillies have a plus run differential over the last 5 years against the Marlins have still found ways to beat you multiple times. And so tonight, I think, is a must-win for Philadelphia. You need to win the game that you should. Game 1 at home, the crowd is going to be nuts. Every fan in that building is going to be 100% invested in this game. Don't want to let them down. And the Phillies are saying, we are going into this game with the idea that we are going with our best players available. They believe that this is the best lineup they could have. That being with Pache playing in left instead of Brandon Marsh, because it's Jose Luzardo tonight. The Phillies have already told you they are comfortable with Schwarber, Harper, and Stott as being the only lefties against the Marlins' Jose Luzardo. Luzardo has had a very good year. And you could argue that while he may not be the most well-known pitcher for the Marlins, he may as well be their best pitcher against a team like the Phillies. because he is left-handed. And having Brandon Marsh out of the lineup is definitely a huge problem for Philadelphia. I think this team is a better team with Brandon Marsh in the lineup. But the problem is Luzardo is allowing a .215 batting average against left-handers this season. And considering how poorly Brandon Marsh has hit against left-handers over the last 30 days, it makes a lot of sense for him not to be playing tonight. And for those who are wondering, against the Phillies this year, Luzardo does have 2 starts. He has 14 strikeouts and 12 1/3 innings. Now, he's also given up 12 hits in those 12 1/3 innings. So it's not like the Phillies have not found a way to get hits off of him, but you got to turn those hits into runs. At the end of the day, a 3.65 ERA means that Luzardo is not invincible, but he's definitely someone who can be a problem. Now, maybe the Phillies' experience is what is the deciding factor for this at the end of the day, because the Marlins don't have a lot of guys with postseason experience. Wheeler was just in the postseason last year. Pretty much this entire lineup hitting tonight was in the postseason last year, aside from Christian Pache, who was not on the team last year, and Trey Turner, who has plenty of postseason experience, just not on the Phillies. So the Phillies are the more experienced team, and they should be able to win this game tonight. But there is still a question of the Phillies have never faced the Marlins in the postseason. And that is a big question for me going into this game tonight. It's the unknown. The Marlins have found ways to beat the Phillies over the years. And with a manager like Skip Schumacher, who has been there and done that around baseball, you have to wonder, what is the Marlins' mindset going into this game tonight when first pitch hits at 8:08, Zach Wheeler versus Jose Luzardo? You can hear the action right here on 97.3 ESPN. We got your Phillies coverage all red October on the radio. All right, I see messages coming in on the text board, 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. I see messages from Tom and the Villas. Someone who's identified themselves as CM. So get to all you guys' messages and more coming up next. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night, 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle.
You haven't downloaded the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app? Well, go get it now to follow all the Philly sports teams at 97.3ESPN.com, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Next question. This place is known for its extraordinary financial services since 1902. Contestant 3?
Motion First Bank?
Oh, nice try. Sorry, everyone. The answer we were looking for is Ocean First Bank. Ocean First. But the good news is everyone goes home a winner with convenient access to deposit services, mortgage loans, business financing solutions, and digital banking options for business and personal accounts. Through local branches and online banking, your needs always come first at Ocean First Bank.
Now get 5.25% APY when you open a 6-month CD with at least $10,000 of new money to Ocean First. Learn more. Open yours with a local branch or at oceanfirst.com. Restrictions apply.
Equal housing lender, equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
A lot of Cannoli's energy started to bounce back.
She has a lot of puppy moments, and she'll be 14 this summer.
What did these dog parents do for their dogs? They switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-size bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today and you'll get $365 in bonus bets when you bet just $1. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be present in New Jersey. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
You step out of the shower smelling fresh, but for how long? Body odor starts forming immediately, especially if you use soap. And your only defense is the 2 inches of deodorant you applied to your armpits. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the inventor of Lumi Whole Body Deodorant. It's so easy to use. I'm going to talk you through it on the radio. Just a pea-sized amount of our invisible cream rubbed into the nooks and crannies like a lotion with fingertips. Or pick a stick for pits and other flat surfaces like thigh folds and underboob. Glides on smooth for a touchless application. Both are clinically proven to block odor all day and controls odor for 72 hours on pits, privates, and beyond. So you're going to smell better naked everywhere. It's that powerful.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 555 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 555. LUME deodorant.com, code 555.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Good news, New Jersey. More residents are getting quality, affordable health coverage through Get Covered New Jersey. Established by Governor Murphy, Get Covered New Jersey offers increased plan choices and more savings than ever. If you recently had a life event such as marriage, pregnancy, or insurance loss, you may qualify to enroll now. 9 in 10 enrolling get financial help for plans that include preventive care, prescriptions, and more. And if you meet certain income levels, you may qualify for low to no-cost coverage. Find your plan at getcovered.nj.gov.
You're listening to Game Night with on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
25 on a Tuesday night. Phillies Red October begins tonight. When we get back to the World Series, we'll follow all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. Listen to the game as well on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Let's see what you guys have to say right now as we open up the show. Eagles news, Phillies in the conversation. All that and more, 619-403-0973. In your DMs, tonight on the ESPN mobile app is free. Thanks to First Bank of Seattle. Tom in the Villas says, my concern is Matthew Stafford targeting Josh Jacobs. Stafford is no slouch. He's had a lot of success attacking him. That's from Tom in the Villas. A couple things, Tom. One, I agree with you about Stafford. I think that your point about Stafford is true. Stafford is no slouch. Stafford is one of those guys I don't think people realize that he is basically a borderline Hall of Famer. And I know it sounds weird to say that, or because people don't think of Stafford as a great all-time quarterback, but this dude already has over 53,000 passing yards. At 35 years old, if he has another good year, like I don't even have a great year. Like his last great year was 2 years ago when they won the championship. And that year he had 41 passing touchdowns. But if he can give you a couple more very good years, he might get close to 60,000 passing. And he's already at 336 passing touchdowns in his career. In fact, he has two 40 passing touchdown seasons. They have been 10 years apart. That gives you an idea of who this guy is at age 54. He is a very good NFL quarterback. He has one of the best arm talents we have seen in the last 20 years play the quarterback position. And frankly, you can never overlook a guy like that because I heard Dan Orlovsky talk about this. Guys like Stafford make throws that guys like Dan Orlovsky. And Dan Orlovsky played in the NFL. But Stafford is so much better than Orlovsky in terms of his ability. That he makes throws that you're not supposed to attempt, and he completes them. And that's the huge difference between these guys. And like I said, when you think about where Stafford is, he is already 11th in NFL history in passing yards. If he keeps playing, he will pass Eli Manning and get in that top 10. And he's only 6,000 behind Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers isn't playing this. The only players to have 60 or more passing yards in their career are Dan Marino, Matt Ryan, Philip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. And the only guy that I named of any of those people that makes you give the side eye of them being in the Hall of Fame is Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan even won an NFL MVP. So Stafford, you're right. He is no slouch. He is definitely a great player. I will disagree with you on a little part we said about Job. I don't think Josh Job has necessarily played poorly in his last two outings. I think that there were a couple catches that were made against him that were phenomenal plays. And I think that is a huge part of the conversation. That one Terry McLaurin catch, no one's stopping that. I don't care who you are. Josh Job played that ball 100% what you're supposed to. And I've rewatched that catch in the first quarter multiple times. There is no way anyone else is catching that. I don't think Job is a bad corner. I think he's actually a good corner. And I think that the Eagles know that he is more than capable. And with time, he will get better. Time and experience. You know, no one is absolutely great the first time around as a starter. Is he young and inexperienced? Could Stafford take advantage of him? Absolutely. But I think that taking advantage of a guy like Job is more about your offensive game plan than it is literally about Josh Job. And Terry McLaurin and McLaurin and Justin Jefferson and CJ Osborne. Who else would have gone against? Josh Dotson. You know, these are all these are all receivers who have NFL experience and he doesn't. So they're going to know nuances that he doesn't. So I agree with you, Tom, in the Villas, that Stafford is no slouch and you have to be ready for him. But I don't think Job is the weakest link. I think the safeties at this point are the weakest link. You have not been able to have your starting unit out there consistently this year. Between the injuries for Blankenship's ribs and Justin Evans' neck, and now Sidney Brown's hamstring, you're asking Terrell Edmonds to fill up the void of no Avonte Maddox. You bring in a guy such as Roby, less to do with the fact of who's playing corner on the outside than it is about protecting what you have in the slot in the secondary. The safeties are the last line of defense. And the problem is their last line defense has basically become the weakest link of the defense. Roby has a ton of experience on the outside and the inside. And I think that versatility is going to be a big part for him. And while he's not exclusively an outside corner, I think that when you look at Roby, you realize that when he's playing between 40 and 50% of his snaps in the slot, I think that it's the idea that if Roby is anywhere as good as he's good potentially, then you're going to protect the defense overall, not just favoring one specific position or one specific matchup. It's about eliminating another team's opportunity to take advantage of you more so than it is taking one specific guy off the field. But still a good text from Tom in the Villas. 609-403-0973. Tom in Margate says, Phillies must win tonight. I am with you. The Florida Fish have been a thorn in Philly teams for years. I got my Smithwick and Scotch whiskey for tonight. Zach Wheeler must bring his A game tonight. That's from Tom in Margate with 4 different exclamation point emojis, a thinking emoji, a whiskey drink emoji, and a okay emoji, and a waving hello. Hello to you too. Couple things there, Tom. You know, the Zach Wheeler part bringing his A game, I think you can get away with it not being his A+ game as long as it's not his B- game. And the reason I say that is because I think Zach Wheeler this year has shown you that while he's not playing at an elite level anymore, I think Zach Wheeler is still more than capable of being a guy that is a reliable pitcher. You know, he led the Phillies this year with 21 quality starts. So of his 32 starts this year, that means basically more than 2/3 of them have been quality starts. And what's a quality start? Going 6 or more innings and allowing no more than 3 runs. I don't need Zach Wheeler to give me an A+. I need Zach Wheeler to give me an A-, at least for me. I look at it as give me 6 innings, allowed 2 runs, and no more. I think you're on your way to winning this game. Now, who they come out of the bullpen, that's the debatable issue after Wheeler. Because, you know, Mike Gill was saying, you know, hey, throw out there Orion Kerkering. I'm saying, I don't know if I want Kerkering coming out game 1 of the postseason out of the bullpen. I think Strahm has been a very underrated pitcher for the Phillies this year. And I think that he's a guy I would strongly consider in a 7th inning. You know, having going from right to left coming out of the bullpen is something a lot of teams like to do, and they've had success with this year. And I think Strahm, look, Strahm, he may not be an elite pitcher, but he's been very good for you. 108 strikeouts and 87 innings this year. I think he might be the guy that you lean on. Him and Jeff Hoffman are probably going to get more shots in pressure situations, in my opinion, than Orion Kerkering. So, and again, it's nothing against Kerkering's inexperience, but I think that there's something to be said for Kerkering has faced 14 batters this year. Matt Strahm has seen 351. In fact, Matt Strahm has faced more batters this year than any other guy coming out of the bullpen. And he still has 108 strikeouts. He has struck out, I should say, is the proper English. He has struck out basically almost 1/3 of all the hitters he has faced this year. And he has seen more hitters than anyone else in his bullpen. I think that we're sleeping on Matt Strahm as a quality guy to come in a tough situation in the heat of the moment in a playoff game. He has shown you already this year that he is more than capable of doing that. Now, I understand that in his career, he has not had a ton of postseason games. He is not someone who historically is not some like, hey, this guy has had all this postseason experience, right? And frankly, his past postseason outings had not been that great. But I still think that at the end of the day, Strom is someone that you can rely on. And I think that if you go into this game, Wheeler gets you through 6 innings, Strom gets you for the 7th inning, Kimbrel for the 8th, Alvarado for the 9th, I think you have a chance at winning the game. And what I would do is I would throw Kirkering in game 2. Let him sit and see how all of this is like around him. Let him absorb it. Let him give him the itch to get out there. Give him I want to go out there. I want to win a game for my team a little more than he already does. Because then when he comes out of the bullpen, he's going to be firing harder. He's going to be putting the other hitters off balance even more. That's how I look at it. 609-403-0973. Texter, you only left the name CM. I mean, is that Kate May? Is that Christopher Matthew? I don't know what CM stands for, but he says, Josh, you might have forgotten that the Cowboys' points were scored by their defense. Their offense is capable, but it's not as explosive as the scores indicate. Well, the reason why I can't sit here and parse every single defensive touchdown out of the totals, CM. And I can't do that because it's hard to find a website, and we use a lot of websites here on 97.3 ESPN for our sourcing. I mean, between me and Mike Gill, I mean, I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can think of 8 websites off the top of my head that we use for stats and information. And most of those sites do not splice out points scored offensively, points scored defensively. All right? It's all basically points scored for, points scored against. So, should I sit here and factor in the defense? Yes. But what is not on the defense is the Cowboys are still 11th in the NFL in total yards. That's not the defense. That's the offense. So while you can point to the points and say, hey, a chunk of those points is from the defense is getting turnovers and scoring points. The reality is that Dallas is still a team that is 11th in total yards. So that means they are a top 12 offense in the NFL. They are the 4th most first downs in the NFL. Pretty good. So again, they may not be the elite offense they have been in the past. They are still scoring on 53.8% of their offensive drives. So 53.8% of the time when the Dallas Cowboys have the ball, they're scoring. That's the 3rd best number in the NFL. So the numbers say, CM, that while I am not, literally splicing the points here, the Cowboys are still a very good offense. And while Brandon Cooks has been a gross disappointment for my fantasy football team, cough, cough, and still with Dak Prescott and with Tony Pollard and with CeeDee Lamb, a very good offense, and with Michael Gallup, a lot of weapons all over the field. And if I'm the Eagles, you're telling me that I'm getting maybe not peak Bradley Roby, but maybe, 80, 85% of peak Bradley Roby, and my starting corner threesome is James Bradbury, Bradley Roby, and Darius Slay. I'm feeling pretty good about that lineup against Dallas, considering who Dallas and Miami and other teams have to offer. That's at least how I look at it. If I'm wrong, you guys let me know. 609-403-0973. That's the text board. Also your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. Seattle, Josh Hennick here on Game Night on 97.3, being brought to you by Jenkins & Sons. Plumbing and heating and air conditioning. Is your home ready for the changing seasons? It's warming up this week. And eventually it's going to cool down again. So what are you doing to be prepared for that? Well, make sure you call Jenkins and find out how you can save money on your utility bills. Whether it's a new system or fixing your current system, Jenkins & Sons Plumbing and Heating can be called today at 609-641-6440 to find out how they can help you save money. Look, this time of year, I wrote the article on 973ESPN.com a few weeks ago how New Jersey is among some of the most expensive household bills in the entire United States. It is expensive to live in New Jersey. So why don't you find out how Jenkins can help you save on those bills? 609-641-6440 or visit them online at jenkinsandsons.com.
The National League Wildcard Series on ESPN Radio. The Miami Marlins head to Citizens Bank Ballpark to go head-to-head with the Philadelphia Phillies.
And that one is gone. A towering home run to right field. Bryce Harper.
The Miami Marlins at the Philadelphia Phillies. Coverage begins today at 7:30 Eastern with first pitch at 8 Eastern.
Listen to Phillies playoff baseball on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Don't get blindsided by a bad trade offer.
Come on, that's a low blow.
Don't get called out for paying high interest rates.
That's a bad call.
Stuck in a loan or lease? Matt Black Kia wants to get you released so you can drive your new Matt Black Kia with 0 down, 0 interest, or even 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, drive with peace of mind with our exclusive 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Even first-time buyers can drive with 0 down or 0 payments for 90 days on every new Kia in stock. Plus, we want to finance your future, not your past, or get up to $8,000 off MSRP on every 2023 EV6 GT in stock.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
With approved credit, not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to MattBlackKiaNJ.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes through CAP1. Excludes EVs. 36 months at $27.77 per thousand for Tier 1 customers. Expires 10/5/23. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and now on Route 37 in Toms River.
Hi, this is Dr. Brad Schaefer. As a podiatrist, I can tell you no two people's feet are alike, which is why I recommend Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts. They're customized for your feet, so you get a unique solution your feet really need, not just a one-size-fits-all insole. They're clinically proven to provide pain relief for achy feet, knees, lower back, plantar fasciitis, and heels. Take the Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotics assessment in Walmart today, now in the foot care aisle.
Hi, I'm Holly O'Neill, Chief Client Care Officer at Bank of America. Each and every day, our employees come to work to make financial lives better. And listening to our customers is how we do it well. During this customer service week, I want to thank my teammates who go above and beyond for our clients.
What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/about. Bank of America NA, member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text HIM to 321-321. That's HIM to 321-321.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in the zone.
So what if I need a new one? No problem. We have the right battery for your car, starting at only $89.99.
Get in the zone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And did we mention it's aluminum free? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 500. LUME deodorant.com, code 500 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 500.
A toast to our new college grad who fills us with so much joy, almost as much as when we're in our RV. Oh, the world is your oyster, kiddo, and ours too. Now that we're covered with Progressive, Dad and I can hop in our RV anytime we want. Might even splurge on a retractable awning. Ooh, look out. Sorry, what was I talking about?
Protect your loved one with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card for use at Trio North Wildwood for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at SeizeTheDeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to SeizeTheDeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com.
Now, more Game Night. Josh Hennig, ESPN, and the free mobile app.
Josh Hennig here, back here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. We'll get back to your messages in just a moment. 609-403-0973. That's the text board. Phillies and Marlins tonight. Of course, you hear the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. Pre-game coverage begins at 7:30. First pitch right after 8 o'clock. A couple things I want to hit on before we start wrapping up the hour. As we mentioned earlier, Eagles played Los Angeles Rams this Sunday, and the relevance of the Rams is that the Eagles will be going back on the road for the next 2 games at Los Angeles and back to the East Coast against the Jets. In fact, now I'll go over the schedule again. I hope it's true. The Eagles won't have any back-to-back home games until after Thanksgiving. So literally their entire schedule is on the road again, back home, on the road again, back home. And you have to wonder, how does that impact this team in terms of their play? These are still human beings. And I have to assume that the on the road, back home, on the road, back home, playing on Thursday, playing on Sunday, playing on Monday, playing at 4, playing at 8, at 1. I have to assume that a lot of this changing that's going on, it just has to impact them. I just have to. So, I mean, that's at least how I look at it. I think that, the more veterans you get in that locker room, like a Bradley Brady, I think the better this team will be. Jeff in Ocean City chimes in at 609-403-0973. The Phillies says, Josh, what's your best prop bet for tonight's game? I mean, I'm looking right now online, and I'm seeing that Zach Wheeler's over-under for outs recorded is 17.5. I gotta say, I like the over in that because I think he goes 6 innings tonight. And over 17.5 with 6 innings. So I think that is one prop bet I do like tonight. I think Wheeler has shown you that he has pitched well enough against the Marlins to be successful. Again, in his 3 starts, he's averaging 6 runs per start. 3 starts, 18 innings in those 3 starts. So I think that's probably the best prop bet if you're going to place one for tonight's game. The other prop bet I think is interesting is Zach Wheeler is set at 4.5 is his hits allowed. And why I believe that's interesting is because in his 3 starts this year, he has allowed 24. Sorry, that's somebody else's numbers. 15 hits in 3 starts. That means he's averaging 5 hits allowed. So you can still win the game, as I said earlier, and Zach Wheeler not give you an A+ performance. So I'd be curious to know, does he get that over 4.5 or not? But I think the best one of those pitching props is probably the over 17.5 outs recorded. And then in terms of a batter prop, man, it's a good question. I don't have a great feel for anyone in particular in this game. If I had to go out on a limb with anything for tonight's game, I mentioned earlier to Mike Gill, I like Nick Castellanos home run prop. Hit props. I like Bryce Harper to get a hit tonight. I mean, what is Bryce Harper's numbers for hits in general? How high can I go on the hits and get some value? I think that's what I would know, because over half a hit right now is minus 195. So even the sports books agree that you're going to get the over on the hits. Hits plus runs plus RBI is 1.5. Over is 115. I'd probably like that. I just think Harper is a clutch performer in the biggest games, in the biggest moments. He has historically been a great player for the Phillies. So that's what I look at. Mike in Marmora chimes in and says, Josh, please try and explain your crazy comments on the Sports Bash earlier about leaving Marsh out of the lineup in this series. Mike in Marmora. Well, Mike, first of all, I appreciate that you've been listening since the 4 o'clock hour. Appreciate that. Here's the reason why I said that. You may think that they are asinine comments, but as I said to Mike Gill earlier on the Sports Bash, the reason why I mentioned about leaving Marsh out of the lineup is because, one, if the Marlins plan to go so left-handed heavy in terms of their starting and their bullpen, what is the point of bringing him in any game? If the Phillies are telling you that you don't trust him against left-handed pitching to start him in game 1 of a playoff series, then you're basically telling me that you don't trust him at all in this series, because the Marlins have a plethora of lefties coming out of the bullpen. They got 2 left-handed starters. And what you're basically hoping for is that a right-hander may come into a game and you might play Marsh. I feel like the Phillies are kind of telling you what they're going to do. It's not that I will leave Marsh out of the lineup. It's that I personally know the Phillies do things that I don't always agree with. They didn't play Rojas almost for a month, basically. And I was screaming from the rooftops about that. Didn't like that. I wanted more starts out of Ranger Suarez before the end of this season. I wanted more outings out of Orion Kerkering before the end of this season. I wanted to see less of Jake Cave. I wanted to see more of other players. I would have rather see more Weston Wilson than Jake Cave. So Mike and more for me, it's about saying the Phillies do things that I don't agree with. That's why I made the comment that I did. Because if the Phillies don't believe in Marsh, it's not my opinion, it's their choosing. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. Catch you tomorrow.
Are you ready for Eagles football?
He's firing and it is intercepted! Eagles pick it off!
We are to.
And walks in for the touchdown. Beautiful execution. Beautiful.
Listen to the Philadelphia Eagles with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick all season long on 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's official Eagles station. Brought to you by
Jenkins Plumbing and Heating at jenkinsandsons.com. Piccalilli Inn. Nobody beats the Piccalilli, Route 206 in Chemong. Frank Vincent Windows, Roofing, Siding, and Doors make your home look new again. BMW of Atlantic City. Shop our complete inventory online at bmwatlanticcity.com. Ocean Casino. Get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games at Ocean Casino this football season. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. And First Bank of Sea Isle.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football. 97.3 ESPN FM.